Hello everyone, I am Sarita Rawat, Assistant Professor, School of Pharmacy, Suresh Kyan Vihar University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Today we will start our next lecture, Antifungal Agent of Pharmacology. So, learning objective of today's lecture include introduction, type of fungal organism, difference between bacteria and fungi, classification of fungal infection, classification of antifungal agent, pharmacology of antifungal agent, pharmacology of antifungal agent, and drug of choice for various fungal infection. Now, learning outcome of today's lecture included you are able to know about the range of drugs that are used in fungal infections, and you are also able to know about the applications, side effect, toxicities of the drug that are used in fungal infections, and the treatment principle for fungal infections. Now, fungi are also called mycosis and they are eukaryotic organisms and possess cell wall. So, fungal cell wall is made up of chitin and cell membrane is made up of ergosterol. So in 1950s, the incident of fungal infection were predominant and fungal infections are iatrogenic and drug induced. So infections majorly occur in the immunocompromised patient people recovering like receiving the immunosuppressants. Now, similar to the animals, fungi are heterotrophs, and they acquire their food or by absorbing dissolved molecules, and typically by secreting the digestive enzyme into their environment. And the discipline of biology devoted to the study of fungi is known as mycology. Now, the fungal cells contain membrane bound nuclei with chromosomes and that contain the DNA, which non coding region called introns and coding regions called axons. So, fungi have the membrane bound cytoplasmic originals such as mitochondria, strol, connecting membranes, and rhizosomes of ATS types. Fungi like chloroplast. So fungi have a cell wall and vacuoles and they reproduce by both sexually and asexually means and like the basal part growth such as ferns and mosses produce spores. Now, as you can see, this is the fungi. We have categorized them into yeast and mold. So both are dimorphic, and for example, we have blastomyces, and then we have histoplasmosis, spirotrosis. So as you can see, yeast, for example, है cytoposis and neoforms, and then modes we have demotrophics. Okay, so these are just basic about the fungi. So a mode is a fungus that grow in the form of multicellular filamentous cell that is called hyphae, and in constrict fungi that can adopt a single cell growth habit are called yeast. So as you can see, this is the diagram of fungi. It included cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, food storage granules, and they multiply by the like spores, then germination of them, then hyphae make of hyphae, and then they spread all over. Now the type of fungal organism that are is existed. So when we say when we talk about the class of them, mode of transmission, species involved, and disease cause. So for example, we have yeast. So yeast is basically the mode of transmission is budding, and species involved in is cryptococcus and neoforms, and it can cause meningitis. Then yeast like fungi, they are partially grow like yeast and partially as filamentous that we call hyphae. So the species involved in Candida albicans and Pityosperm orbutus. So this okay, they can cause Candida can cause oral thrush, vaginal thrush, and systematic candidiasis. Then when we talk about the Pityrosporum, so they can cause tinea vernacular. Then when we talk about the another class, that is modes. So mode of transmission is filamentous fungi that are reproduced by forming spores. Then species involved in modes are Mycosporum, Tychophorda species, and pathogenic modes that are dermatophytes, and then hypermophytin. Okay, so they are mainly cause the disease like skin and nail infections. Now, the another class of mode is filamentous fungi that reproduced by forming spores, so which involved Tinea barri and T. capritis, T. corporis. So, infection, the disease they called is like infections of breast, scalp, and body, groin, hands, nails, foot. So, these are involved in this. Then we have dimorphic fungi. So their mode of transmission is they grow or filamentous or as a yeast. So the species involved in dimorphic fungi is Coccidioides emitis and Histoplasma capsulum. So the disease they cause is histoplasmosis and coccidioidosis and blastomycosis. So these are some examples. Now, Cryptococcus neoforms and Cryptococcus gatii are the significant pathogens of immunocompromised people, and they are the species primarily responsible for Cryptococcus as a fungal disease that occur in about 1 million HIV/AIDS patients, causing over 6 lakh deaths annually. So the cell of these yeast are surrounded by a resid polysaccharide capsules which help to prevent them from the being recognized and engulfed by WBC in the human body. Now, east of the Candida genus, another group of opportunistic pathogens caused oral and vaginal infections in humans, also known as candidiasis. So, Candida is commonly found as a commercial yeast in the mucous membrane of the human and other warm-blooded animals. Now, aspergillosis is the group of disease that is caused by Aspergillus and the most common subtype among paranasal sinus infections associated with the aspergillosis is A. fumigatus. So the symptom included fever, cough, chest pain, or breathlessness, which also occur in many other illness. So the diagnosis can be difficult. Usually, only patient with like already weakened immune system or who suffer over lung conditions are susceptible for this disease. Now, the useful and harmful of fungi. So, organisms and their use, when we see the Scariomyces cerevisiae, so it is used in the manufacture of barbies and bread, majorly used in fermentation process. Then the another fungi we have Penicillium notatum, so it is used for produce penicillin. The another category is Penicillium cryogeninum. Now, when we talk about the Streptomyces chrysophyllowin, so it is used for chrysoflovin. Then, when we talk about its harmful effect of the fungi, so Calviceps purpura is give a harmful effect to produce mycotoxin causing food poisoning, and Aspergillus produce alpha toxin that is carcinogenic. Now, when we talk about the difference between bacteria and fungi, so bacteria are peptidoglycan present in the consist of N, NEG and NEM, and cell wall is composed of proteins. Lipids present in the cell membrane are made up of cholesterol. And when we talk about the fungi, so it consists of polysaccharide, both simple and complex polysaccharide consisting 80 of the cell wall. Cell membrane is made up of ergosterol. So as you can see, this is the proper cell surface of fungi. Now, when we talk about the classification of fungal infections, so we have superficial infections, cutaneous infections, subcutaneous infections, deep mucosal infections, or systemic mucosal infections. So, superficial infections include on the surface of the skin. Cutaneous infections included dermatophytes, ringworms infections, all Taenia species and Candida species. Now, when we talk about the classification of antifungal agent, so we have classified them into broad spectrum. So, fungal cell wall synthesis inhibited by the enteoflogging and capoflogging and micaflogging. So then the another categories that increase the membrane permeability by binding to the fungal cell membrane. So which include amphotericin B and niacin. Then the another category is inhibition of ergosterol and lansostrol synthesis. So it include the terbinafine. Then the another category is nucleic acid synthesis inhibition. So it include flucytosine. Then the another category is disruption of meiotic spindle and inhibition of fungal mitosis. So it include glycoflovin. Then the another category we have is imidazoles and the ergosterol synthesis inhibitors. So imidazole include topical and systematic. So topical include cotrimoxazole, miconazole, oxyconazole, secuconazole. Then the systemic is ketoconazole. Then the another category is ergosterol synthesis inhibitor, which include triazole. So that this is only systemic, available in only systemic doses form. So voriconazole, itraconazole and posaconazole, fluconazole included in tetrazoles. Now this is the classification of antifungal agent according to their mechanism of action. And based on their chemical nature, we have polleins and echinocandins, amine abolites, alamines, zoles, miscellaneous. So zoles we have imidazoles and triazoles, and it is also further divided into topical and systemic. Now, classification based on infection. So, cutaneous topical infections and systemic subcutaneous infections. So, the drug involved in cutaneous topical infections included nystatin, and then cotrimoxazole, seconazole, oxyconazole, meconazole, benzoic acid. Then the another systemic and subcutaneous involve amphetamine B, ketoconazole, voriconazole, itraconazole, posaconazole, and many others. Now, as you can see, this is the fungal cell. So it is like showing the inhibitions of the particular areas or by the particular drugs. So the cell wall inhibitions by echinocandins, then plasma membrane inhibitions by polleins, and that include amphotericin B, DNA synthesis inhibitions caused by flucytosins, and then the another we can see endoplasmic reticulum inhibitions by the imidazoles and triazoles. Now, talking about the pollen antibiotics, amphotericin B. So, amphotericin B is a naturally occurring pollen antifungal produced by the Streptomyces nodosus In spite of this toxic potential, amphotericin B remains the drug of choice for the treatment of several life-threatening mycosis. So it is a macromolecule and consists of both lipophilic and hydrophilic group. So that is amphiphilic in nature. So conjugated nature is responsible for lipophilicity and OH group is responsible for hydrophilicity. So the amphitophilicity of the drug is responsible for its unique mechanism of action. Now, when we talk about its pharmacokinetic, so yellowish color powder, it is present in yellowish color powder, unstable in aqueous solution, given through fourth route in salt from a form, although with amphotericins, deoxycholiate, metabolized in liver, and T half is 15 days. So it is extensively bound to the plasma protein and is distributed throughout the body. Now, inflammations favor penetrations into various body fluid, but little of the drug is found in the CSF and vitreous humor or amniotic fluid. However, amphotericin B does cross the placental barrier. Now, it accumulates in the renal cell, causing nephrotoxicity, leading to the azomentia, characterized by decreased GRF urinary output and increased in the SCR and bilirubin. So, mechanism of action of amphotericin B is of two types. First one is hydrophilic part and lipophilic part. Second one. So, in hydrophilic part, it's form the pores in the cell membrane, and in lipophilic part, it's bind with the ergosterol and bilipid layer. Then it will do a similar mechanism. In the cell wall contains such as sodium and potassium lead to tough the spores for the cytoplasm. Then it give the fungicidal infection of like action. Then amphotericin B interact with the hydrophobicity phobically with the ergosterol in the fungal cell membrane, forming a pore. So as you can see, this is the mechanism of action of amphotericin B. So potassium and other small molecules are lost though, and the pore causing cell death. Now, when we talk about its antifungal spectrum, it is effective against a wide range of fungi, including Candida albicans, histoplasmic capsiculatum, Cryptococcus neoformianus, and Coccidius inmatus, and Blastomyces dermatitis, and Aspergillus. So, amphotericin B is also used in the treatment of the protozoal infections, leishmaniasis. Now, when we talk about its dosing, so amphotericin B has a low therapeutic index. So the total adult daily dose of the conventional formulations should be exceeded it should not exceed 1.5 mg per kg per day, where lipid formulation have been given safely in the dose up to 10 mg per kg per day. Now, talking about its adverse effect, it can cause fever and chills. And talking about its renal impairment, so patient may exhibit a decrease in the glomerular filtration rate and the renal tubular function. So serum creatinine may increase and creatinine clearance can decrease and potassium and magnesium are lost. So renal function usually returns with the discontinuations of the drug, but residual damage is likely at high dose. So to minimize nephrotoxicity, sodium loading with the infusion of normal saline and the lipid-based amphotericin B product can be used. Now talking about hypotension. So, a shock like fall in blood pressure and accumulated by the hypokalemia, it may can occur, require potassium supplementations. Care must be exercised in the patient taking digoxin and other drug that can cause potassium fluctuations. Then talking about the thromboplastitis, so adding heparin to the infusions can alterative this problem. Then therapeutic use of amphotericin B included intestinal candidiasis, topical candidiasis, febrile neutropenia, leishmaniasis, Kala Azar we can also known by this name. Limited use in systemic infections because of its increased toxicities. Now, talking about the amphotericin B formulations, conventional amphotericin B includes sodium potassium of AMB, that is sodium disocycloate AMB, and it is water soluble and stable. Now, next drug we have is nistine. So, nistine possesses very high systemic toxicity, not given in IV route, used to treat topical infections. Earlier, it was used to treat monialisis. It is administered as an oral agent, switch and swallow or switch and split. For the treatment of oropharyngeal candidiasis, thrush, intravaginally for the vulvovaginal candidiasis, and topically for the cutaneous candidiasis. Now, another drug is antimetabolites. So, in antimetabolites, we have flucytosine. So, flucytosine is a cytosine moiety. It is a primate analog, six-membered ring structure, possesses two N items, either earlier used as an anti-cancer agent but was proved to have potent action against a Cryptococcus species and Candida species. Now, talking about its pharmacokinetics, so its T half is 3 to 6 hours, orally well absorbed, distributed throughout the body and even into the CSF, metabolized by liver, excreted unchanged in urine. Now, its mechanism of action, as you can see in this picture. Now, talking about this detailed mechanism of action, so cytosine, premines and demines are present only in the fungal cell and absent in the mammalian cell. So hence activation of 5-FC to 5-FU occurs only in the fungal cell, causing inhibition of both DNA and protein synthesis, resulting in the fungicidal action. Resistance, it can cause by resistance due to decreased level of any of the enzyme in the conversion of 5-FC to 5-fluorouracil 5-FU and beyond from increased synthesis of cytosine can develop during therapy, and it is the primarily reason that 5-FC is not used as a single antimycotic drug. So the rate of emergence of resistance fungal cell is lower with a combination of 5-FC plus a second antifungal agent than it is with the 5-FC alone. Then talking about the echinocandidiasis, newer antifungal agent, and it can inhibit the fungal cell and cell wall synthesis. So it is discovered screen depositly, and during a fermentation process, some metabolites were found in to inhibit the Candida species, and they were named as echinocandins. And the echinocandins have potent activity against the Aspergillus and most Candida species, including those species resistant to azoles. However, they are minimal activity against other fungi. So one of the first echinocandins discovered in 1974, and that is echinocandin B, and could not be used clinically due to its risk of high degree of hemolysis. So this is the chemistry of echinocandins. Then if you talk about its chemistry, so it is the present day clinically used echinocandins are like semi-synthetic and pneumocandins, which are chemically lipopeptide in nature, consisting a large cyclic peptide. Now, its mechanism of action include it inhibits the synthesis of beta-1,3-D-glucan via non-competitive inhibitions of the enzyme 1,3-beta-glucan synthesis, and are thus called penicillin of the antifungal. So, resulting in the inhibition of cell wall, leading to lysis and death. Talking about its pharmacokinetics, so due to the large molecular weight of the endocannabinoids, they have poor oral bioavailability and are administered by the intravenous infusions. So, casoflogin has a tripepsid nuclear pharmacokinetics, and mecafloxacin hepatically metabolized by the areo surface, and it has linear elimination in the excretion. Then when we talk about this resistance, so ecocandin resistance is rare. Resistance include alternations in the glucan synthesis and overexposures to the efflux pumps. When we talk about advantage of ecocandins, so it has a broad range, and it can be used in the case of azole resistance candida, and its a long half life is also a advantage. Then not an inhibitor, inducer or substance. It does not no dose adjustment required, and it has low toxicity. Now talking about its disadvantage, so it can cause needs dose adjustment in liver disease, poor ocular penetrations in fungal endophthalmitis, and it has embryotoxic. So that should not be should not be used in pregnancy patient. Then we have next is cascoflogin. So cascoflogin is a first line open for the patient with the inverse candidiasis, including cantemia, and a second line open for inverse aspergillus in the patient who had failed or cannot tolerate the amphotericin B and azoles. Now, talking about the azoles antifungal, so azole antifungal are made up of two different classes of drugs such as imidazoles and triazoles. So, although these drugs have similar mechanisms of action and spectra of activity, their pharmacokinetic and therapeutics use vary significantly. So, imidazoles are given topically for the cutaneous infections, and triazoles are given systemically for the treatment of prophylaxis of cutaneous and systemic fungal infections. Now, as you can see, we have azoles, imidazoles, and triazoles. So, topical imidazoles are clotrimazole, systemic are ketoconazoles, and triazoles we have voriconazoles. So, azole antifungal have broad spectrum of cation with the mammalian areas, and more effective in the fungicidal infections. Now, when we talk about topical azoles, so it is used to treat oral vulvovaginal cutaneous candidiasis, used to treat T. corporis cureus and capitis infections. Its T half included 1 to 6 hours. Treatment range from 2 to 6 months based on the area of infection. Now, systemic azoles included ketoconazole. So, oral ketoconazole has historically been used for the treatment of single systemic fungal infections, but they is really used today due to the risk for the severe liver injury and adrenal insufficiency and adverse drug reactions. Talking about its pharmacokinetics, so it is orally well absorbed, metabolized by liver, and well absorbed throughout the body and does not enter into CSF. It's pharmacokinetic by inhibiting the CYP enzyme and increase the concentration of the drug, such as desoxy, warfarin, phenytoin, and etc. Now, talking about this therapeutic use in ADR, so its therapeutic use is systemic candidiasis with monolysis and deep mycotic infections and cryptococcal infections. And ADRs included, it inhibits the enzyme useful for the sterol synthesis. It can cause menstrual irregulation and hepatotoxicity. Then talking about the triazoles, which include fluconazole, so it is most of its spectrum limited to yeast and some of the dimorphic fungi. It is available in oral and IV formulation. Talking about this pharmacokinetics, so it is orally well absorbed and excreted unchanged in urine up to 90%, and it can cross the blood-brain barrier and has increased the efficacy toward the fungal lanosterol. Now, it is ineffective agent against aspergillus and histoplasmosis and blastomycosis. Its interaction is it is used for prophylaxis agent inverse fungal infections in recipients of bone marrow transplant. So it is the indications of the drug. Now, it is also is the drug of choice for Cryptococcus neoforms after induction therapy with the amphotericin B and flucloxetine, and it is used for the treatment of candidemia and cocoidomastosis, and it is commonly used as a single dose oral treatment for vulvovaginal candidiasis. Now, talking about the next triazoles, that is itraconazole. So it is orally well absorbed. IV can be given in the serious infections. It has a negative entropic effect and should be avoided in the patient with the evidence of ventricular dysfunctions and heart failure. Now, indications of using it is histoplasmosis, blastomycosis, and mucormycosis, and sporotrichosis. Now, the next we have voriconazole. So it has replaced amphotericin B as the drug of choice for the inverse aspergillosis, and it is also approved for the treatment of inverse candidiasis as well as serious infections caused by Scardosporin and Fusarium species. Now, this is some collectively these are some antifungal agent, like we have spectrum of activity. So in fluconazole it is positive, in intrazole it is double positive, so like this. And route of administration, oral bioavailability, so you can check this. Now, talking about the drug for cutaneous myotic infection, so mold like fungi that cause cutaneous infections are called dermatophytes or tinea. So common dermatomycosis, such as tinea infections that appear as a ring or ring around red patches which clear centers, are often referred to a ringworm, and this is a misnomer because fungi rather than worms cause the disease. So, for example, it can caused by the trichophyllatin, microsporum, and the epidermophyton. So, the drug for that is we have Terbinafine. So terbinafine is oral. Terbinafine is the drug of choice for treating the dermatophyte onychomycosis fungal infection of nail. Therapy required 3 months. Then we have topical terbinafine. So it is 1% cream, gel or solution is used to treat tinea piads, tinea corporis and ringworm and tinea curis infection of the groin. Duration of treatment is usually 1 week. Now, talking about the next drug, that is brysoflovine. So, it is obtained from Streptomyces jarius, effective against dermatophytes. Its pharmacokinetics involved. It is well absorbed orally. Absorption is enhanced in the presence of lipophilic substance. Accumulation is enhanced in the tissue made up of keratin, such as skin, nail, and hair. Now the mechanism of action, you can see brysoflavin binds with the tubulins, inhibit the mitotic spindle formulations, resulting in the inhibition of separation of daughter nuclei, and which can give the fungistatic effect or action. Now, talking about the ADR, so it can cause rashes, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, and mild hepatotoxicity. So, it is the therapeutic use of gasoflavin included T. arganium, T. corporis, dermatophytes infections. So, gasoflavin's use is limited because of extensive replacement by azoles and terbinafines. Now, the drug of choice for various fungal infections. So, as you can see, these are the fungal infections, fungus, disease, and the first drug or dose, and the second drug of choice. So, as you can see, for the Cryptococcus neoforms, it can cause meningitis. So, the first drug of choice is amphotericin B plus 5-flucytosines, and the second drug of choice is fluconazoles. So as this similar for the other disease also. Now coming to some basic questions. So which of the following antifungal agent is most likely to cause the renal insufficiency? So the answer included fluconazole, amphotericin B, itraconazole and posaconazole. So the correct answer is B. Amphotericin B is the best choice since nephrotoxicity is commonly associated with the medicine. So although the dose of fluconazole must be adjusted for the renal insufficiency, it is not associated with causing nephrotoxicity. So, itrazole and posazole are metabolized by the liver and are not excreted associated with the nephrotoxicity. Then a second question include a 55-year-old female present to the hospital with shortness of breath, fever, malaise, and she has a history of breast cancer, which was diagnosed 3 months ago and has treated with chemotherapy. Her chest X-ray shows possible pneumonia and respiratory cultures are positive for the Aspergillus fumigatus. So, which of the following is the most appropriate choice for the treatment? So, the the answer choices are voriconazole, fluconazole, flucytosine, and ketoconazole. So, the answer is voriconazole. So, it is the drug of choice for Aspergillus. So, studies have found it to be superior to the regimen, including amphotericin B. Now, the third question involved which of the following antifungal agent should be avoided in the patient with evidence of ventricular dysfunction? So, it included micafungin, itraconazole, terbinafine, and posaconazole. So the correct answer is itraconazole has a negative intratropic effect and should be avoided in the patient with the evidence of ventricular dysfunction such as heart failure. Now, the next question is a 56-year-old female with diabetes present for routine food evaluation with her podiatrist. The patient of the right big toe and a change in the color yellow. The podiatrist diagnosed with the onychomycosis of the tonsils. Toenails. So, which of the following is the most appropriate choice for the treating these infections? So, these are the options. So, the right answer is terbinafine. So, it is the better tolerated, requires a short duration of therapy, is most effective than the itraconazole, grisiflovin, and mefavin. That are the choices. Now the next questions are involved like for the subjective questions. So what is the common antifungal agent that are used nowadays? Which of these antifungal drug inhibits microtubule? How do most antifungals work? And what is the class of antifungal drug? What are the example of antifungal agent? And which is the best oral antifungal medicine we have? So you can answer these questions while going through the lecture. Now coming to the reference, so reference included by basic and clinical pharmacology, Baritrum, and then essential of medical pharmacology, KT Tripathi 6th edition, Lipnocot, modern pharmacology with clinical applications, Color Atlas of Pharmacology, second editions. So you can definitely check out these references. This is all about your antifungal drug and their fungal infections, the main cause of fungal infections, and their choice for treatment. So thank you for kindly listening to me. This is all about today's lecture. Thank you.